Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing Comic Uno episode, and this is the show where I rank my comic books, and I am doing a free comic book edition for this. So, I read about 6 of the comics that I got, just, you know, books I thought you guys would want me to cover from the pile I had, so let's get started. Number 6 is Avengers / Captain America, and I didn't hate any of the books I read, but with this one, it just didn't interest me as much. They covered Avengers parts that I didn't care as much for when I read the first issue, like the Black Panther aspect of the story, Odin, so, and I felt like the dialogue was kind of bogged down in those scenes, so wasn't a big fan there, but I did like the artwork a lot. I thought Sarah Pichelli's artwork was really great, so probably the best artwork from all Free Comic Book Day, maybe. Maybe I liked another comic a little more with the artwork. And then Captain America, I'm not a huge fan of Captain America, and artwork was a little sketchy. Definitely felt a bit rushed, but I did like the inner monologue. I liked his thoughts on America. I thought was interesting, so I liked that aspect, but it didn't make me want to pick up Captain America. But again, I'm not a huge Captain America fan, so I'm definitely not the target audience for that. So this one I gave 2.5 stars. Just the stories weren't really catered to my taste. So that was number 6. Moving on to number 5, which is The Mall, issue 0. So this is a prelude to the Scout comic book. And this one I just kind of got randomly because I liked the cover. And it's a coming-of-age crime story. I'm like, that's totally up my alley. And I liked it. I didn't really like any of the characters, but I liked the tone of it. It's this, like, scrawny, nerdy kid who kind of gets everything because he ends up working with the mob. So it was a fun story, but I can't say it made me want to pick up more. But the artwork was really well done. That's the comic I was thinking about, which had the best artwork. I actually thought The Mall probably had the best artwork out of all the titles. Definitely fit the best also for the story it's trying to tell. So I gave this one 3 stars. It was a fun story, but again, I think I'll just be picking up the Free Comic Book Day version of that. Now, moving on to number... That was 6, 5, so we're up to 4, and that is Barrier, issue 1. I thought this was going to be a little higher for me, because again, I am a big Brian K. Vaughan fan, but I also like that you read it this way, so you have to read it, like, that way, so that was cool. But it takes a while for you to get into the issue, at least for me. I didn't really like our main character at first, and I don't think you're supposed to like your main character. And then you see the difference between her, who's like a Texas girl, police cop, and you know, an immigrant trying to escape. And I thought that was really interesting. The immigrant part, I don't know Spanish, so I didn't know was what they were saying, but that was kind of the point of the comic. And then by the end is where it hooked me, and you get to see them like abducted by aliens or something, so they're going to have to interact with each other. Obviously two people from different worlds, so I like that aspect a lot, but it took a while for me to get into the issue. So I gave this one 3 stars, but definitely going to be picking up issue 2 in the whole series, because again, I did like the hook for that last part. So moving on to number 3, which is The Amazing Spider-Man. I thought this was actually going to be lower just because when I was looking at it, I still don't like the idea that half of this book is Infinity Gauntlet / Guardians information. I didn't like the half wiki thing going on, but the Spider-Man story was so much fun. I had to put this high. You know, I really like Otley's artwork here, even though it's very Invincible-like. I feel like Peter Parker looks like Mark a lot, but I still love the style, and I really like the setup. You know, you get your superhero action, you get that Peter's trying to find an apartment in New York, and I love that scene where there's a garbage dump right in front of his apartment, because that is very New York City, and by the end, he ends up moving with Boomerang, and I'm like, alright, you got me hooked. And what I really liked is that it feels different from Dan Slott's run, and that's exactly what Nick Spencer needs to do. Really liked his voice on the book, and it got me excited for the book, which is exactly what a Free Comic Book Day book should do. So I gave this one 3.5 stars. Would have been probably number 1 if it wasn't for it kind of being a half an issue and not a full Free Comic Book Day issue. Alright, moving on to number 2. which is The Legend of Korra / Arms, and I thought both stories were good, which is why it's higher. None of them blew my mind, but they were both solid stories. Legend of Korra, teaching Milo, I think the kid's name, Milo. Yeah, Milo, not Milo. Milo, who is Tenzin's son, who, he's a kid, so he's a little selfish. He doesn't quite understand what it means to help people. And Korra, in this story, teaches him how to help people, which is cool. It shows how much Korra has grown as a character and as an avatar. And it's not always about beating up stuff, and it's sometimes about, helping others and helping others learn how to help others. So it was a lot of fun. Also, it was a different artist for this, but I think they fit Irene Coe's art style very well, so I enjoyed that. And then moving on to Arms, I have played the video game before, and I thought it was a fun way to get into the world. I especially like this panel where we see, I guess, the daily life of someone with arms like that. I thought that was cool. Didn't make me want to pick up the graphic novel because I'm not that big of a fan of Arms, but I thought it was a cool, fun little story for Free Comic Book Day, and especially like the Legend of Korra stories. So that's why that was number 2, and I gave that 3.5 stars. Now moving on to number 1, which is Power Rangers Shattered Grid, and this is actually mostly exposition / explaining things, but I didn't mind it. I definitely liked the collaboration between Kyle Higgins and Ryan Parrott. I thought combining their 2 voices in this book was really great, and I could tell which scenes were written by Ryan, which scenes were written by Kyle, which was cool to see. And especially like the high school stuff, and just seeing I guess the Power Rangers over the years, because you get to kind of see when they began and then when they met Tommy, and then seeing Zordon as like a person was interesting. Like his whole body you got to see, so you get little teases of what's gonna happen next, but it's mostly like, hey, this is what's going on in Power Rangers, which is why I couldn't get to the 4 stars, but I thought it was a fun issue, definitely some fun scenes within the book, so I gave this 3.5 stars. So those are my reviews for Free Comic Book Day. Let me know in the comments below, what did you think of your books, and which one was your favorite, your least favorite? Let me know. So this is Comic Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there are links to my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.